Pretties, welcome to February. So I'm gonna make an attempt at this again. We're starting off the year and I just want to show you guys all the products that currently have pan in my collection, and every time I hit anywhere between like 8 or 10 new pans, I'm going to be doing like an update, like 8 new pans I hit or 10 new pans I hit. Just kind of like do an update. My goal is to try to get 10. Are you serious? There's been this guy in his little motorcycle. They've been going on joyride up and down this damn street, like around the neighborhood. And I'm just like, dear Jesus. But anyway, and then every time I hit like 10 pans, I'm gonna come up here. The only reason I would do less is if I'm like really close on finishing a product and I'm like, okay, I probably should show you guys the product before I end up putting it in the empty bin, and then it like defeats the purpose, you know? So that's why. Now there's 2 products that I almost don't even want to can towards this, but they're technically not empty just yet, but they're like pretty damn close. So I have my Milana bronzer in what's it called? Sunkissed. And I have just that little bit right there left, so it's essentially almost empty. So I almost feel like I'm like it almost doesn't count. Same thing with this palette right here. I have a couple of things with pan. I have this Wet n Wild highlighter that I repressed into this, and I have only that right there. So again, almost doesn't count, but there's that. I have a Colourpop highlighter right here. I think this is Golden Hour. Oh shit. Okay, it doesn't say. I think it's Golden Hour. But it does have pan showing right here and a little bit over here, not that you guys can tell. It's actually pretty thin in this whole area right here, so I would like to expand that eventually, but not right now. And then I have this huge pan right here in this blush, which is, I think, Why Hello, because I think this one's Excuse My French. Yeah, it is Excuse My French. This is Why Hello. So, huge pan on all 3 of those. Let's see, some pans, highlighter pans. Something that I'm always really proud of is hidden pan on highlighters. So I have Fenty Beauty highlighter right here. This is actually just enter my deck of Pan and Project pans. If you want to check that out, I'll put the intro up there. But there is that one. And then I have right here Champagne Pop from Becca. So it's a smaller pan, but it's right there. I think that's noticeable right there. And I have this one right here from Masterchrome. Actually, I like this formula, but I rarely use it. I don't think I wore it once last year, so I made to make a point of trying to use it a handful of times this year. But I do like this formula. The pans are not too deep, but it's super blinding, but it blends really well into my skin. And it looks glossy, and it's not quite glittery. It's hard to explain. This is a new pan for me. I did hit pan in my number 7 powder, so I'm really excited for this one. It took a lot longer to hit pan than I thought, because I know that this was supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one, but the Charlotte Tilbury, people hit pan on it in like a month. This one took me months of consistent use, and just now I'm seeing pan. So that makes me feel a little better. That was a good investment. Now we're moving on to eyeshadow. Pretty much everything else that I have is eyeshadow products that I've hit pan on. So I have 2 Super Shock shadows. This is Pretties, which unfortunately is discontinued, but I really did enjoy it. This was from the Shea and Colourpop collection. This is also from the same collection. It's Elixir, which is more of a warm toned, but there is that. Both of them have pan, so really been enjoy those. This is my Panda Palette. It already had all these pans when I introduced it into the project, but this one's completely gone, and I have 3 pans right here along those. Alright, then you have Give It To Me Straight. Ooh, almost popped that, but I have pan in this shade right here, so super exciting. Always love to see a palette. Also, I'm really close on hitting pan on Frank right here. It's one of my favorite transition shades I have. And I have some really nice dips going on Downright and Matter of Fact. It's hard to tell on Matter of Fact because it's pretty evenly spread out. And this formula and this specific shade versus the rest of the palette, it's actually quite like hard press, which I was surprised, but I really enjoy it. Another one from Colourpop. We have Cute AF, and I have pan right over here. So good dip, but this formula is very, very powdery. I also have a really good dip going on Note to Self, which should be no surprise to anybody because I've mentioned it multiple times. It's my absolute favorite transition shade of all time. I really wish that was a single, but we move on. I think this is a new shade that came out of their single shadows that's somewhat similar, so there's that. Double Entendre, I have 2 pans here, right over here. So pretty excited about both of those. There you go. They're pretty thin everywhere else as well. In the same palette, in the same shadow, not the actual palette. The only one that I have any sort of dip is actually this dark brown. There's a tiny dip, and same thing in this one. There's a tiny dip in those two. But other than that, there's not much progress here. I don't know why I brought Boss Bay out, because I don't have any pan in it. But I am pretty close on Hidden Pan on Deadline, the transition shade in here. Really like it. Also very close to that other shade. Alright, let's see. We have Proceed with Caution. Enough pan in this one right here. I will say though, this shade, for whatever reason, is like significantly more powdery than everything else in the palette. So it was really easy to hit pan on it right here. Then from Los Angeles, we have two pans on this palette. I'm considering making this my Panda Palette for next year, considering but not sure. I have some dips here and here, but nothing major. Everything else doesn't look that much use, but again, hey, two pans. These are actually quite deep. There's a lot of product in this, so it does take a while to hit pan on it. So I'm really proud that I have not one but two pans, which I should. It should have more pans, considering this is my oldest palette. It's the only palette I have from 2017. Everything else I own is from 2018 or older, or newer, sorry. So this is the oldest palette I own. And then I forgot to take this out from my Colourpop. Right here, I do have pan in this one right here, which is Labyrinth. It was in my Roulette project pan a year ago, I think. So it's a small pan, but it's there. Pretty excited about that one. Alright, and that is all the pans that I currently have in my collection. I would like to hit more pans this year, but I honestly would like to just get more empties, period. So there's that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, I want to do this somewhat regularly. I just want to get more pans in my collection, period, just to get everything more use, more love. And we'll see how that goes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.